Good morning, my name is Mark Sutherland and I have the enormous privilege of being the rector of this beautiful church of St. Martin on Providence's east side. I'm speaking to you this morning from the St. Martin Chapel, which is the smaller of our worship spaces in this church. And you will be able to see behind me the reredos, or the painted screen behind the altar, which is an example of the fine tradition of ecclesiastical arts and crafts movement. St. Martin's is perhaps one of the finest examples of the ecclesiastical arts and crafts movement to be found anywhere, at least in New England. The tradition, as you can see, is characterized by the elaborate gilding and painting of beautifully carved wood. But the reason for my speaking to you this morning is because I want to introduce you to the service of morning prayer. For over 400 years, morning prayer and its companion service of evening prayer were the staple worship services of the Anglican tradition. And some of our older members here at St. Martin's may well remember when Matins, as it was often called, or sung morning prayer, was the principal service here on Sunday mornings. Those of us who have grown up in the Episcopal Church since 1979 will be more familiar with the celebration of the Eucharist as the principal service for Sunday worship. But during this current health emergency, with its restrictions on public gathering, it is not possible to celebrate the Eucharist, which requires the presence of both priest and people to be physically together in the same space. And we look forward to a time when, with the restrictions lifted, we will once again be able to gather to celebrate the Eucharist together. In the meantime, we are reviving the older tradition of morning prayer as a principal service for Sunday mornings. Here at St. Martin's, you would most likely be to encounter morning prayer as a weekday service of said prayer, which we say on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays here in the St. Martin's Chapel at 9 o'clock. Currently, during the health emergency, this service is also available via Zoom. But it's to morning prayer or matins as the principal service for Sunday worship that I want to speak briefly. In 1549, the then Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Cranmer, compiled the first book of Common Prayer, and in it he ordained a service for the morning and a service for the evening, not just of Sundays, but for each of the days of the week. Matins in the morning and evensong in the late afternoon and early evening. And he created the service of matins or morning prayer by combining several of the monastic offices of the morning period of the day. And his desire was to take the beauty of monastic prayer and to make it more available outside the gates of the monasteries. And so he constructed these two services as public services of prayer, which were held in the church with the doors open and the bells having been rung, and in the presence of a congregation. During this period of the coronavirus emergency, sung morning prayer will be our principal service of worship for Sunday mornings. And I trust that the beauty and the solemnity of this worship will bring you solace and strengthen your hope in this time of great uncertainty.